Blam.
Blam.
Meld.
Here's where we all stand. We are picking up directly after last week, wherein you guys were just starting a sort of chase scene with two targets. One is Uli had just stepped up to leave to follow after a young girl that had tried to come into the tavern. Kind of at that exact moment, it started raining from the ceiling in the tavern. In that same moment, Holly noticed your mark, or who she thinks might be the mark, the Nightmare Wizard, also got up and left the tavern. So currently it is Uli who has stepped out into the streets outside of the Tangled Jib, and the rest of you, the four of you, are still inside the tavern deciding on what to do, and also maybe trying to help the panicked wet people.
Gets up and she runs out the door to try to follow the guy with the boots, because she's like zeroed in on seeing those boots, and she's just trying to follow him because she thinks that's him. Okay. And she's gonna try to yell after him too as she runs out the door. Hey you! Hey, Mr. Skecker, size 10! And she's gonna like run off and try to follow him.
Until you said Skecker's size 10, he was trying to play it cool and just kind of like walk with his hands in his pockets and collar upturned. But as soon as you call him out, you see him kind of free his hands and break into a sprint away from you.
Yeah, I'm gonna run after him.
Okay. What's everybody else doing?
I'm following the child.
Okay. So we've got 1 and 1 so far. You all saw Uli and Holly leave. What are you guys doing in the tavern?
I am going to follow Uli. I think that the girl has more to do with this mess than we believe.
Okay. So yeah, you step out and see Uli just a couple of steps ahead of you, peeling off to the west, I suppose.
Snack, why don't you go with Holly? I'll make sure Uli doesn't punch that child.
No, okay.
All right. So we've got Uli and Tibio. Okay. Let's resolve that first.
And Bert.
And Bert.
Yes.
Yes.
That is what I said.
Okay. So this little girl is heading towards the loading docks. So the way this place is structured, you guys are moving, I think I just said westward, along the docks. And so here are all of these parked commercial vessels that are waiting to take like large loads from other continents and countries and stuff. So this is kind of where a lot of the large, I guess, industrial work happens. And this little girl is climbing on top of a bunch of boxes and crates and stuff and trying to like out squirrel you guys if she can. So she is currently standing on the top of a mountain of crates. What are you guys going to try to do?
Hey, kid. Hey, stop.
She turns around and she must be like laying down on her stomach or something, and she peers over the top of the crates and looks at you.
I'm going to accidentally message her and be like, what's wrong with this kid? Why is she hiding?
I don't think she thinks to respond, but she does duck her head back, and you see a little flash of light on the other side of the crates.
I will misty step to the top of the crate where the little girl is.
Okay. So yeah, you just kind of appear up there, and Uli, you look back to see what that noise was, and you just see like a little cloud of mist floating away, and Tibio is now at the top of the crates. So you look down and see that she is actually, she had slipped between some crates, and she is actually on her way back down onto the docks, running away from you guys, and that light was that she had just cast light on her fingertip, and is just using it to see in the dark as she runs away.
I say, wait, little girl, please. I mean you no harm.
She continues to run, but it's pretty easy to track her now with this light shining everywhere.
Okay. From my vantage point on top of wherever the heck I am, I look over to Uli and Bert, and I say, she's headed that way. You can go around.
Okay. So yeah, you guys see her actually running towards some of the larger ships that are parked and some of the kind of cargo loading equipment.
Yeah, let's go cut her off.
Don't let her get on a boat.
So let's jump over to the other side. The people who are chasing the mark, Henry. Henry took off down a little more disreputable path and is not entirely out of sight of other people. So he is continuing to just run down the center of this strip of like bars and shops and stuff. So there's actually a little bit of commotion and nightlife still going on here. He is taking frequent looks back at you, and he's not sprinting. He's actually kind of like, he'll move in between two people and kind of shove them lightly out of the way, and just kind of slipping between crowds. Some places are much denser with people than others. What are you guys going to do to catch up to him? So here along the roads too are a lot of like lit lamps. There's a lot of, like I said, people standing about. It's like a mixture of stone streets and boardwalk.
Snack will cast Misty Step, and he will try to appear. What?
Popular spell
All right,
today.
copycat.
Misty Step, and he's going to try to appear near his legs and wrap around one leg to try to slow him down.
Okay, yeah. So with the 14, you are firmly wrapped around one of his legs and weighting him down. And so he like takes a step, shakes you furiously, takes a step, shakes you furiously, and then he decides it's better to just continue with you on his leg.
You best stop. I have a badge, and I will bite.
He pulls you see him like whip his robe back a little bit, and he's got a small bandolier of 3 wands at his hip. And he takes one and he points it down at you and he says, "Don't make me use this."
You wouldn't dare.
Is he standing on? What's around him?
He has kind of just kind of poked around the corner of a building and into an alleyway, so he's able to make this threat to Snack without being seen by other people.
Yeah, Holly's just in close pursuit, trying to get close. She is gonna cast Armor of Agathes. I don't know how to say it, or just around herself, which just gives her 5 temporary hit points, and if they attack me, they have to take 5 cold damage.
Okay. So yeah, you feel a little kind of minty chill run up your spine as you shroud yourself in this protective coating.
Sorry, can I add some flavor to that?
Yeah.
Go back. So the material is a cup of water. So she takes a little vial out of her like satchel. She has like a bag of holding that we bought earlier.
Oh, yeah.
And she grabs it, scoops out some of Blackwater. We're still at Blackwater Row, right?
Yeah,
is where this is. So she's going to scoop it out of the water as she's trying to run by.
Sure.
And then she's going to just throw it up in the air, and it's just going to run and into it and then have it freeze around her as like
just
this
kind of
ice
misting
shield.
herself
Yes.
like mid-run.
It's like, Bath and Body Works, where you spray it and then
Yep.
walk through it,
Yep.
except it's armor.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
And it's stank ocean
water.
Yeah.
And it just turns into this ice
Excellent.
shield. So, and then she's going to try to catch up to them in the alleyway and try to stand in front of Snack when she gets there if they're standing still.
Okay. He sees the 2 of you, and he kind of looks to see if there's anybody else coming. And Snack, he gives his leg a shake one more time, and he actually takes the wand, and instead of pointing at you, he points to a barrel that's behind you, and there's like a big rope coiled on top of it, and a few other just pieces of wood and debris. And he points it at that, and he kind of mumbles some activation word, and you hear all that stuff kind of like start to rumble and shudder together, and you hear the creaking of wood, and the rope just kind of starts to spin around wildly.
Is Holly nearby?
Yeah, she's right next to you.
Holly, what was the next step? Do we kill him now?
We need to incapacitate him, but don't kill him yet.
At don't kill him yet. The barrel reaches out with ropey arms and makes a grapple against you, Snack. So yeah, it gets these ropes around you, and you realize that whatever his wand did suddenly gave this pile of debris some level of sentience, and he has tasked it with grappling you or holding you down. So this rope and barrel, crate and barrel monstrosity reaches at you, but the ropes can't get around any part of you fully enough to pin you down. And he's like trying to run, thinking that it was going to work, and he's still got you attached to him. Holly, he's brushing past you, trying to get free. What do you do?
And he's wearing wizard robes. Sorry, I'm having trouble picturing the scenario a little bit. So we're in an alleyway on the dock still.
Yeah, so it's like a fairly populated, like, single lane. And then there's just little gaps in between all these buildings. And kind of between the throngs of people there, this guy with the kobold attached to him managed to just dip just over the corner into an alley that had a bunch of crates and stuff.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. The context matters a lot for the type of spells I have.
For
so,
sure, yeah.
So I just need a lot to go off of. And he's trying to push past me to go deeper into the alley or to go back out onto the main.
Back onto the main street.
Okay. I think Holly is going to probably just try to trip him or like somehow like make him fall down. So she's gonna stick out her boot, which has undisclosed magical ability that the DM has not yet decided.
Okay.
They're just her lucky boots.
Tripping magic.
So she's gonna trip him.
Okay.
Try to trip him.
Sure. He does stumble, but he manages to skip over your tripping foot and continue running. Although he's not as fast as he should be because he's got a kobold attached to him.
Snack has been patient enough. I take out a rusty knife and I poke him with it.
Yeah.
Ooh. All right.
Violence.
Yeah, make an attack with advantage.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Yep, you poked him.
All right.
Give him tetanus.
Give me a D4.
Okay.
Some lockjaw for your vacation.
3 damage. 3 rust damage.
All right.
Cool.
So yeah, you.
This is, just for flavor, this is the knife I got from the weird vampire.
Yeah, I remember that.
So I have no idea what the knife does.
Right.
Yeah, so it's actually like not all that sharp and effective. Snack's still kind of riding on this guy. You give him a couple tiny pokes with your dagger and inflict 3 rusty knife damage. So he shrieks out in pain, and people form a quick circle around him and kind of see you there and see him. And there's a moment of confusion where they don't really know who the good guy is, and so nobody acts, but they are making it hard for both of you to get away.
Holly, use our badges.
I'm gonna enlarge my badge.
Okay.
And just kind of like throwing star it right at the guy's head.
Okay. So taking it completely literally, you
Great team.
you grab the badge right off your clothes and you kind of like pinch it to enlarge it, and then you whip it like a frisbee, like a throwing star at this guy. So you just kind of throw your badge and it goes whizzing by his head.
I'm wasting all my spell slots.
But onlookers saw the badge, probably.
Very visible now.
Stop that man!
You also hear a splash.
Oh, no.
Being that you're in Blackwater Row, when you threw your badge, it went right between the rails and fell into the water. Let's actually go back to the other side again.
Uli, I got a plan. If we get to the other side there.
Okay. What?
Be ready to grab the kid if this works.
I was already planning on
All
it.
right.
All right. So the kid is near this large loading crane, and she's like waiting for you guys to catch up again because she doesn't have anywhere else to run. She's at like the end of a loading dock.
We can see her though.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there somewhere I can like hide line of sight from her?
Yeah. There's plenty of
You could hide
crates to
behind
duck
me.
behind. Yeah.
I'm gonna duck behind a crate. I'm gonna pop a mockingbird gum,
Okay.
and I'm going to imitate the voice of the man at the bar who told her she couldn't use the bathroom.
Okay.
I'm also going to cast thaumaturgy to make my voice louder.
Okay.
And I say, little girl, I'm really sorry about before, but if you come out now, you can go potty and everything will be fine.
You can see her. She almost looks like a little embarrassed, and then she starts kind of climbing down from where she was, and takes a few steps towards you guys. And what do you do?
I snap her up.
You snap her up.
I don't know how to deal with children.
Sure.
I'm like holding her as far away as I can.
Okay. So she nat 20's out of it.
Damn.
So you go to snap her up and kind of just do the where you hug, just like you just air hug. You hug air, and she is just kind of disappears from sight. You notice at some point she has turned off her light, and you hear just a couple footsteps, and then you hear a snap. And then a whirring noise. Uli, you look up and see sudden motion, and it's very big. As soon as she dodged your attempt to just snap her up, she actually unlatched the winch for the loading crane, and it caused the crane loaded with a gigantic crate of ore to spin back your way and hit you like a bus. So I think for that, it's so big and it's not so fast that it like cuts you in half or demolishes you. It actually doesn't hurt you at all. What it does is when it contacts you, it just kind of picks you up and you just grab onto it, and it holds you out over the water so that you're just barely hanging on to this crate that is being held out over the water.
I hate kids.
Oh, and there goes Uli.
Will help. Maybe.
Uli, you gonna be okay?
I just throw up a thumbs up and probably fall off of the thing.
Or started swinging a little bit.
I guess I'm chasing after the kid then.
How far away is she from me?
She's maybe 50 or 60 feet away.
I'm going to jump down and run after her and be like, hey, wait, we're sorry. We didn't mean to scare you. We're sorry.
Okay. She continues to run, but you can keep pace with her as she moves towards Upper Town. Back in the circle of people in near Blackwater Row. You guys aren't actually quite there, but close enough to where you could throw a police badge to it. So you guys are in this circle of people. Snack is still attached to him, and Holly is standing there after having thrown her badge. Snack, you can see he's reaching for his wands again, but he kind of looks up and sees all these people surrounding him, and then he kind of drops it and doesn't go for it again.
Flee from us. We are deputies. Get away. We are doing justice.
Stop him. He's the night wizard. Everyone, help. And Holly's gonna try to grab him. She's gonna try to jump on him now, because it's just his full body, try to hug him.
Yeah.
And also just grapple him, basically, and hold him. She's not really sure what she's trying to do, because she's not really a physical combat type of person. Mm-hmm. So she's just ah! And she's on a mission to try to stop this guy.
You hear somebody else in the crowd go what do we do?
Someone get Sheriff Tandy.
You hear footsteps running away as if somebody took that to heart.
For a second I thought
Tandy was running away.
I don't want to deal with this stressful shit. Yeah.
Are you the Midnight Wizard? She's gonna hold him. I don't know why she got a southern accent all of a sudden.
So yeah, you're holding him from behind, trying to keep his arms gathered up, and he's just no, I'm not the damn no.
Lies. I stab him again.
So he's got a not insignificant leg wound just from being poked with the dagger, and you hear him say enough, and he gives you a good shake, and he's really trying to break the grapple this time. So at that point he goes okay, stop stabbing me, and he puts his hands up.
All right, I'm very clse to almost doing a stab again and stop.
Holly's gonna take her rope that she has out of her pack, and she's gonna start tying him up.
Okay.
And also she's gonna take his wands away.
He says, I promise you the bindings are unnecessary.
Tell me where you were last night, and don't spare any details. And she pokes him in the chest.
Says, I will. I'll come willingly.
Great. Snack, you can let go now.
I slither off of him and stand up on my feet.
The crowd of people is still gathered tight around you guys, and they're all just kind of gawking and making it impossible for you to egress.
Holly's gonna be who saw this man last night?
You hear the same guy go I did.
And where was he?
He was in the alleyway, and I seen him for just a second.
Excellent. What's your name?
Fish.
Fish?
All right,
No.
Fish.
My name's Hardy.
Hardy Fish.
He's a liar. I will stab him. I run over to him.
No, Snack. Stop. All right. Well, we're going to do some justice. Fish, Hardy, I need you to come with me. And
I don't want to get wrapped up in all this business.
all right, well, we'll find you later if we need you. We're going to bring you into the sheriff. Tandy's just got a few questions we got to ask, and then we can clear your name. And if you cooperate...
So I promise you, this is a enormous misunderstanding and nothing more.
Great. Where's Tandy?
Well, she was at the tavern before you guys all split.
We We
so
just
she's probably
ran
still
from the
there.
tavern. Yeah.
What's that?
Did they find her and bring her yet?
I mean, you sent somebody to go find her. Who knows if they'll ever be successful?
All right. I'm going to give him a shove and we're going to push him back towards the tavern because
Sure.
I'm hoping Tandy's still there.
Okay.
So.
So then let's resolve little girl. She is running towards the upper town. So there's actually a large set of wooden stairs or an extremely long ramp that's used to get to upper town. So there's this whole part of Lamplight Landing that is built onto these giant wooden stilts. And it's raised much further off the water. And so there are shops underneath this and there are shops above it as well. And so she's kind of run. And then this upper town is also where you'll find a lot of the like cathedrals and churches and pretty much the suburban neighborhood.
Can I please drop off of the thing and into the water?
Yes, yeah.
Crawl out like a
Your
wet
strength
cat.
is like slowly fading, and you're just like, I don't want to get wet.
I
Not
slip.
again.
All right,
But then I'd like to take off after everybody else.
sure, yeah. So you're just, determined as ever, but dragging yourself out of the water to get after the people.
I would
I'm
like to use
soggy.
a spell I should have used last time.
Okay.
It's the command spell.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Oh.
So she is just heading into a really large gathering of people. There's like some street performers and stuff out in Upper Town right now, and she's trying to like get into a crowd to get lost.
Okay. But I can see her?
Yeah. So right before that, what do you shout to her?
Stop!
Kid is resilient.
Yeah, she looks back at you and then she dips into the crowd. So you guys both keep track of her as she starts to get lost in this crowd, and she's like purposefully like going between people and trying to shove her way in as much as possible. But you can still see her. The crowds aren't as thick as she needs them to be. And at this time, you guys see Uli coming up on you, just soaking wet.
I see that she's going to get lost in the crowd. I frantically look at her and then look at Bert and then look and see Uli back behind us. And I say, Bout, please watch my bones. And then I drop all of my bones and
Watch my
I
bones.
run out in my little gnome body between people's legs and
Yes.
chase this little girl.
Oh, okay. So
I happen upon Bert now.
Yeah.
we're supposed to watch these bones.
That I'm not going to ask.
Sorry to leave you back there, by the way.
It's fine. I can handle myself. It's whatever.
So Tibio, you're diving into this crowd,
Yep.
and you see her, and she doesn't really have a lock on you since you jumped out of your skeleton.
So I'm going to catch up to her and dodge between people. So she doesn't see directly that I'm following her. I'm not going to stay like right behind her or try to grab her or anything. I'm going to wait till she slows down and thinks that she's lost us.
Yeah, so you see her staring out of the crowd, like back at where you were. And so you've just you see her in profile, and she's like locked on to like Uli and Bert, and has no idea that you're in there with her.
Okay. I'm going to go up to her like quietly and just kind of like stand next to her for a minute and then say, Excusez-moi.
And
Please,
she
please,
just
miss.
kind of turns and looks at you, and she goes, "Oh, hi."
Hello.
She goes, I it's good to meet you, but I'm really busy right now. I'm sorry.
Miss, I know. I'm very sorry. We did not mean to scare you. My name is Tibio.
Yeah, her eyes kind of go wide with recognition, and you can see her like she kind of does that thing where she like holds a position like a dog or a cat, and you know the next move they make is going to be a break of some sort.
I put my hands up. And I take a step back, like a half step back. And I say, Please, miss.
I'm just trying to help you.
She goes, "You're the police."
No. I'm just helping the police, but not to capture you, not to hurt you, not to hurt anyone. We just want to make sure you're okay.
She keeps looking between you and the other two. Uli and Bert, are you guys moving at all? You see that
I'm
this is
poking the bones.
I am. If we make eye contact, I'm going to glare at her, but like not make any move.
the girl.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you do catch her eyes, and you two are just staring at each other. You and the little girl. Yeah.
Flinch a little bit.
I take like a step out of the crowd and like in front of Uli a little bit from where I can see like
yeah.
they've started locking eyeballs. I take like a step between them kind of, and I just keep my hands up.
She says, "I'm not the nightmare wizard."
No, I never thought you were. But I worry that your magic might be accidental.
She says, how do I make it stop?
I can help you.
And I do a minor illusion and hold my hands out flat in front of her, and I make an illusion that little flowers are growing out of my hands.
She smiles a little bit and she says, are you from Tildry?
No, I'm not. My family has magic. It's something we learned from when we were very young. Young like you.
She says, I don't have anywhere to stay.
We can find you a place to stay, miss. We just want to make sure you're safe.
She holds out her hand for you to take it.
I take her hand, and I do like a little childish swing of our hands,
Yeah.
and I smile at her.
So the other two of you see Tibio and this little girl walk out of the crowd hand in hand.
Target acquired. Let's go.
Hey, is this what kind of skeleton is this?
Human, probably.
Okay. I high-fived the skeleton.
Also, I turn to her and I say,
Miss, what is your name?
Oh, my name's Maisie.
Maisie, what a wonderful name.
and then I look at Uli and Bert and I say,
Uli, Bert, this is Maisie. She is my new friend.
Nice to meet you, demon child.
Hi, Maisie.
So it's gnome, little girl, and Uli. And,
so we're all like,
yeah,
looking straight up.
How about you maybe talk to us next time before hitting me with a sack of rocks?
She doesn't lift her head to look at you, but she just kind of glares up at you by hitting her eyes at an extreme angle.
I squeeze her hand and I say,
It's very hard to defeat Uli. She is a master fighter, so you should be very proud of yourself.
She looks back at you and she says, "It wasn't very hard."
Well, now that we've caught up with this little girl, I'm sure those other two has made fast work of that wizard guy.
And I say, there is more to this story than we think, I think. We should go talk to Sheriff Tandy.
And you're going back to the tavern?
yeah, and then I tell Maisie that she has nothing to be afraid of and I'll protect her and all that jazz.
We'll even let you use the bathroom this time.
You all have just stepped into the Tangled Jib. One group being Bert, Tibio, and Uli have apprehended Maisie from a chase that led into Upper Town, and Snack and Holly have apprehended Henry Mulldrift, who they suspected might have been the Nightmare Wizard.
So we assumed he's the Nightmare Wizard.
Yeah. You all walk back into this parlor. The bar, you can see it, like the actual bar top is completely like soaked down, as there's still like a sheen of water with like surface tension on the bar, and the barkeep is just kind of holding their hair and like staring at all the wetness and the water damage and stuff, and they like take out a towel from a drawer, and of course the towel is like soaked through. And they just throw it on the ground and kind of like shrug it off, and they look up at you guys, and you're the only patrons in the tavern now, and they say, "What can I get you?"
Is Tandy not here?
Tandy's here too.
Oh,
sorry.
okay.
So wait, is everyone here?
It's all of you guys, your two captives, and the barkeeper and Tandy.
Okay.
This little lady would like to use the restroom, please.
She looks up at you, Bert, and kind of shakes her head, and she goes, "I don't have to anymore."
Do you have a jail cell here? We have prisoners.
Tandy says, "We do have a jail cell, but let's not say prisoners per se. One of them is a very young girl. What have you found, deputies?
Madame.
And please tell me it's not as bad as it looks."
Madame Sheriff Tandy, this is Maisie. She has magical abilities that she cannot control, and I believe that she is accidentally the cause of what was called the Nightmare Wizard, and I think there is no such thing as the Nightmare Wizard.
What a story.
Henry speaks up and says, "Well, you're right about one thing. There is no Nightmare Wizard."
Then I'm right about all of the things.
Holly's chameleon also gasps.
Mouth just agape.
Yeah.
I'm still holding Maisie's hand, and as I'm like explaining things, I'm like petting her hand, like making sure she doesn't freak out.
And this whole time, she's actually been staring up at Henry. And Henry says, she's, of course, not to blame for this. She is, however, grounded for a very, very long time.
Oh, you know this guy.
Well, you can't do that unless you. Oh.
And she says, no, I'm not. You can't do that.
Are you related? Is this your papa?
Yes, but it's a bit complicated. She says, Mom didn't say, so I'm not grounded. And then he says, well, of course Mom didn't say, but if we're going to get along, it's got to be this way, Maisie. You've got to do what I ask.
Bert, can you write this down? It sounds like
Already am.
Mom outranks sheriff, outranks deputy.
And Henry says, let me just back up a second. My name is Henry Mulldrift. This is my daughter, Maisie. Not too long ago, recently, Maisie's mother's come to pass. Actually, why don't you go show Maisie the bathroom anyway? And she gestures to nobody, really.
The barkeep.
Yeah.
I will
Yeah,
take the prisoner
yeah.
to the bathroom.
No, I nod and I say, Maisie, let's go outside. For
Yeah,
a
and I think
minute."
Maisie would only want to go with you so far. Yeah. So you kind of step out.
Are you back in bone mode?
Really good question.
I would assume
You're
so.
just carrying the bones in like the cloak that she left behind.
It doesn't take you much to like suit up, does it?
No, they
Yeah.
basically clatter into a pile.
Yeah.
And then when I step back into them, they kind of like.
Yeah.
Fun.
Can we
Okay.
call it getting boned?
Or boning.
I do like bone mode. I think that's pretty funny too.
I have written down here,
mode is
Tibio goes bones out.
There's a lot of really, really good jokes that we could make, and I think that we should kind of
Continue
space
to.
them out.
Yeah.
And whatever comes to your mind, just go for it.
So when you step out, Tibio, Maisie says, like I said, I don't have to use the bathroom. He doesn't really like to talk about when my mom died, or she doesn't like to look at me when he does.
I'm sorry about your mother, Maisie.
Me too. He's not my real dad, but he was really close with my mom when she died, and I don't know, he is trying to look after me. He's just not very good at it.
I think that there are many people in this world that would not take in the child of a friend. And maybe he deserves some patience.
Yeah. But I also shouldn't have to do everything he says just because he's, I don't know, Henry.
Tibio nods and, as a young person, also understands not wanting to listen to authority.
Back in the tavern, Henry explains a little more in depth. His wife, his partner at the time, had come under the effects of a curse that was actually particularly horrific. It changed her in her body and her mind. And so she actually had to be hunted and destroyed, not by Henry, but by other people. And Maisie might not actually know those details about it.
This is Maisie's mom.
Yes.
Oh,
So he actually came to Lamplight Landing in search of the source of that curse. He thinks that something here is cursing people. He's just kind of triangulated a few of these cases and has traced it back to Lamplight Landing. And Tandy says, we've had a lot of trouble recently, but I mean, it does kind of feel like we're cursed sometimes. But this is real. isn't
magic
it?
is a curse.
Nothing
I agree.
fits the description of Maisie's mother, though.
And Henry kind of reiterates, no, Maisie's mother was, they weren't able to save her with they weren't able to remove the curse.
I'm so
I
sorry.
mean, nobody else has had that curse.
Not that specific curse. No, they're all different, but and some seemingly benign or not so.
What exactly
Dangerous.
happened to her?
She changed into a sort of really rather demonic creature. Her skin hardened. She grew.
Really?
She grew scales and horns,
Oh,
and
what?
she became monstrous. And
Holly.
I don't want to think
Sounds
about it.
monstrous, and I pat Snack on the back.
As Henry is describing this, Holly like is kind of just like sitting or standing or whatever, and just crying. Like tears start coming down her face. She's really sad, and she is just like, "I'm so sorry." What was her name?
Ash. We were sort of partners in a lot of things. Partners in business, partners in dwelling. She even took on my last name just to kind of help our brand, but nothing official. I've been around for about the last half of Maisie's life.
Well, thank you for sharing your story with us. Holly's like wiping the tears from her face, and she says, "It sounds like we might be able to help a little bit on your search to find these cursors. I, for one, think this sounds like a terrible, terrible act that we need to right. And I want to help if I can."
That's what I was hoping to hear. I haven't been able to get where I want to go. I don't know if I'm recognized or blacklisted or something, but he says there exists a sort of underground that I haven't been able to access.
Ooh.
I believe it's a black market of sorts, but it lies underneath the docks of Lamplight.
Underneath?
I've seen it. I even saw it tonight during part of our chase. I saw just beneath part of Blackwater Row there was a light on.
Is this the thing under the dock?
Yes, have you seen it?
Briefly, yeah.
I've seen people kind of emerge from places that they couldn't have. I've tailed them and they just sort of disappear. There's got to be some kind of hidden entrances into this underdock.
Yeah, just blow up the dock, and you can find it.
That's one way to do it.
He says, yes, I saw the construction site earlier
Construction site?
where they were repairing the docks.
Oh, they started already. Okay.
Tandy, have you had any other cases besides the Nightmare Wizard in town of curses?
I mean, it's hard to chalk it up to a curse, really. I mean, how do you know if it's really a curse or if someone's just being an a-hole?
Have there been anything else besides the fish at night?
Well, I'm starting to think now. There have been several occurrences, and who's to say that they were linked at all? Maybe none of it was Maisie. Maybe only this was. So yeah, to summarize, Henry is Maisie's dad, effectively. There is a black market underneath some parts of Lamplight, and they don't know exactly where it is. Henry doesn't know, neither does Tandy. All of this Nightmare Wizard stuff, it may well have been other curses, and people just thought it was all the same, villain or something.
Snack must get this straight. Ash, tell me more about what happened, how she transformed. He's got a glittery look in his eye.
Henry takes another sec of kind of a pause. It's clear he has mixed feelings about talking about this stuff. He says, "Well, at first we thought it was just a normal ailment, something that affected her skin. She became very dry and rashy, but from under her skin developed scales, and then came horns, and her bones even shifted, that her legs grew an extra joint, a large tail, and
Holly stands up and walks out. She can't. She gets she's too upset. So she can't listen to it.
Claws, and her body was just made a terrible weapon, and she became overcome with grandeur and fury, and and she fought even me, and I couldn't fight her back.
Bert is writing this down with like extra vigor, like, oh yeah.
Snack climbs on top of a stool to sit closer. And wings. Did she grow wings?
He kind of furrows his eyebrows and says, "She did not grow wings, no, but perhaps in time she could have. Who knows? I just wish we had acted more quickly on the curse rather than treating it as a disease."
Did you end her life?
No, I couldn't. I had to keep my distance. I regret that it was others that had to see her through.
That's rough, buddy.
So, does this mean the flying fish, the crackers, was it all Maisie?
The crackers, yes. And I was truly doing my best to keep up with her and undo a lot of the havoc she was causing. My fear is, when we came here, that Maisie picked up a curse herself. I can't lose the two most important people in my life to the same curse.
Did Maisie ever show any magical ability before this?
Of course, she's a star student. She's excellent, bright, and powerful, and she's a wizard like me.
What curse does she bear?
She seems to see enemies where there are none, and her magic slips away from her as if some other force is acting for her.
I understand that all too well.
It seems her emotions are being channeled into effects. The bar rain, I imagine. It's likely her needing to use the bathroom.
Oh. Well, Mr. Mulldrift, you can be sure Tibio and the rest of us won't let anything happen to your Maisie.
Do you think I should talk to her?
I'm counting on it. They do not like the sight of me when I get anywhere near what I expect to be a black market entrance that I can show you, but you're going to need to make the attempt for me. I already tried once, and they've got my number.
What?
What was it exactly they didn't like?
I don't know. It's like they could smell it on me. When I tried to speak with who I assume to be a sort of gatekeeper for the black market, he knew something was up immediately. He wouldn't even entertain my accessing their stores.
Well, we're a rougher bunch of characters than you are, so maybe they'll like us.
That's my thinking. I mean,
it's fine. You can say it.
I think it's just really my robes is all. They're just expensive robes. That's why.
And you didn't think changing your clothes might help?
I only had one shot. I think we should try in the morning, though. Tonight has been quite enough.
Meanwhile, Tibio has been sitting outside, just like right outside the door with Maisie, and is teaching her like a bone tossing game that he learned from his family.
Okay.
Where like there's runes carved in on these little like bone fragments, and you toss them, and it's like some combination of jacks, and there's certain numbers that you have to get, and there's lots of complicated rules, and he's very excitedly teaching her how to play this game.
And as you're going through the kind of tutorial round, and you can tell that she's picking up the rules of the game before you've even finished explaining how to do it. And so when you give her like the rock or the ball or whatever it is to do her turn, you can see she's using she does the bounce or whatever she needs to, and starts lifting stuff up, but she's doing it with mage hand, and she's lifting several bones at once, and then she's lifting all the bones at once, and she goes, "Is that cheating?"
No, it's not cheating. And then I also cast Mage Hand, and I say, we don't usually include magic until the later rounds, but this is excellent. He's thrilled.
Yeah, she says, "I like this." So, Uli, did you want to step out?
Yeah.
And they're just sitting against the wall right outside of the tavern.
Hey, kid. No hard feelings?
She looks up at you and says nothing, and then she looks at Tibio.
She's okay.
She says no.
Okay, good. Thanks. I wanted to ask you if you are having trouble maybe controlling your emotions or your magic or like, whatever, because I might know something about that.
She says, I can control my emotions just fine.
Okay. You can't control your magic.
Sometimes, no.
Why? When does that happen? Do you know?
It's like when I'm scared or like when I need something, if I really want it and I can't. That kind of thing.
Yeah, that sounds like not controlling your emotions.
She goes, hey, you shut up.
No, you shut up.
And you feel the door open behind you, Uli, as Tandy steps out. And she says,
What's up, boss?
we need to finish a conversation.
Can it wait a minute?
She sees you talking with the kid and says,
Madame Tandy, Uli was just going to join us for a game.
And I gesture for Uli to sit down with us and play this like whack ass bone
How
tossing
small are
game.
the bones?
Quite.
Okay, I am having trouble.
that's fine. Uli, let's leave it at this. You can stay here tonight. I want you to meet me on the docks at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning.
6 a.m.? Like before the sun rises?
You heard me.
Damn it. Yeah, okay. That's fine.
And we'll talk about the damage costs for the boardwalk.
I told you I would repair it.
We don't want you to repair it. We don't know what that would look like.
I'm a boat repairman. It can't be that much different, right?
So she actually leaves. She lets you go, and doesn't do it then and there.
Okay. I want to keep talking to the kid about
Oh yeah.
the magic stuff, but I'm just trying to gauge if it's like dangerous or not.
It could be dangerous. She's not like she's strong, but she's not like extremely powerful where she could hurt people.
Okay.
So she's more of like a danger to herself and like the course of her life more than she is to other people, really.
Is it wizard magic?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
I mean, like it is wizard magic. So
she wasn't born with it.
Huh?
She wasn't born with it?
She's she's born with a connectivity, but it's not like this is much more typical of a sorcerer where they'd have outbursts that cause this kind of thing.
Right.
So this really is some kind of other sentient force that's acting on her.
Okay. I want to know if they're going to stick around for a while we try and figure this out.
Yeah, so they also can't leave town for the next 2 days due to the lockdown.
Okay. So I'm going to give her my tantrum tankard.
Oh, okay.
And I'm going to tell her how to use it.
Yeah.
And if she's feeling particularly uncontrolled, I want her to try it out.
Yeah.
But I will take it back at some point.
Okay.
So when we figure
Nice.
out how to stop this like craziness that's been going on.
Right. But I think she might need it more than I do.
You hand it down to her, and she takes it with 2 hands. It's it's like a cup for you, and it's kind of massive for her.
Yes.
And she just plays with the lever that causes the tankard top to open as you're explaining it, and then she's just kind of nodding along with.
Can you explain what
protocol that you
it
give
does
her.
again?
So when the user is feeling a strong emotion, charm, or fear effect, they can open the tankard to relieve themselves of their emotional state for up to an hour. The emotion is stored in the tankard and can be released by opening it, returning the user to that emotional state. But I think because I have a lot of experience trying to control it, 26 years of it, and she doesn't, I would think she would benefit more from it right now.
Especially if it's something new that she's experiencing that like it's not due to anything she's done, it's an outside force.
Right. And it
Yeah.
seems to be when she has an emotion strong enough to trigger it. So
So Tibio is watching this exchange and is seeing Uli pass on this tool to Maisie and is just very emotional about it and is very pleased and very happy and says, "Oh, Uli, that is so kind of you." And he sorts through all of the little bone pieces and he finds one that has a U shape on it.
Oh.
And he says, "It's U for Uli."
I will blush and try and be gruff about it and take it, and I will say, "Do you need this?" pointing to the tankard.
No.
Thank you.
And I think we'll call that evening there.
Okay.
I want to,
Yeah.
Mr. Snack, you have a moment?
Yes. It takes me a second to crawl off the bar stool and walk over to.
So I noticed, like me, you were getting pretty into that story about that curse.
Yes, indeed. It is quite intriguing, the transformation and all.
I just want to make sure you don't do anything too foolhardy regarding the curse until we know more about it.
Bert, I will be very careful and ensure that if I am to transcend, it will be quick and efficient.
Holly walks out of the bathroom area where she had walked off earlier, and her eyes are really red from crying. And she just asked the barkeep. She's like, "Can I just go to my room? I just want to turn in," and then tries to just quietly go upstairs. So.
Barkeep says, I think most of the water was just down here, so you should be fine, yeah?
Thanks.
Oh, Miss Hyacinth, are you okay? That was a hell of a story we heard.
I'm fine. Thanks, Bert, but I think I just need to turn in tonight, so it's just been a long day.
All right. Take care.
Thanks. And she kind of just walks upstairs, but she's just pretty sad seeming. Yeah.
All right, Snack, if you're going to earn your wings,
Yes. That is the grand plan. I have 3 years to do such a thing.
no shortcuts, all right?
No shortcuts, you say? Why is this, Bert? Why should I not take shortcuts?
I mean, you got to earn them.
Oh.
Wings don't mean as much if you didn't earn them.
What would a gnome know of such things? I have been around this place for 6 long years, and you tell me to be more patient?
I've read many tales about kobolds earning their wings.
Have you? Show me, are they in that book?
Oh, not this book, but maybe I'll tell you another story sometime.
Bert, I must tell you, when I first found out you were a gnome, I wanted nothing more than violence to ensue between us, but I feel differently now. I don't know if it's the big lip hair that you have, or that you write down all the things so that we all remember them. But you're all right, Bert. So.
I'm glad to hear it, Snack. You're all right, too.
And at the conclusion of that, the last thing I want to do tonight, in this day of the episode, Snack, before you turn in for the night, the magic lamp at your hip begins to vibrate. It goes, prung, pring, pring, prung, 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 prung.
Okay. Genie, now. I run outside of the tavern and go over to the trash can, and then I sit with my back to it and open the lamp at that time for Genie to appear.
And so, exploding from the lamp is this 2-inch tall genie that begins walking across the top of the lamp. There's this glowing, colorful trail. The genie kind of shifts colors iridescently. Much like we had seen in the Aladdin movies, he kind of cuts off at the waist, and then there's a sort of stream that runs back to the entrance of the lamp, so he's kind of tethered to it. But he's sort of strutting back and forth on the top of the lamp, and he just says, "How goes today?"
Genie, things are going very well. We nearly captured the Nightmare Wizard. I do not know where he resides now, but we have made further allies, and I know of this curse, they call it, that allows you to grow scales. Genie.
Genie gets down on all fours, and he grows scales and wings, and he turns into a dragon, and he says, "Very scary!"
Ah, yes, just like that. Yes. And I punch the trash can in excitement.
And he says, and how much closer are we to our transcendence? And he gets like a little halo and his wings grow bigger.
So much closer, Genie. I think tomorrow it may happen.
Says, well, don't be discouraged if it doesn't.
I will try. So, Genie, why do you come today? This evening?
Because if my senses don't deceive me, I'd think you're in Lamplight Landing. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes, we are.
I've heard that this place has a whole lot of magic.
There's magic here. We learned of this Underdark as well, below the docks here.
The Underdark is nowhere near this place.
Oh.
The Underdark is a giant underground chasm featuring drow and other sort of underground dwellers.
I see. Is this where curses come from, then?
I'm sorry, did you say Underdark?
Oh, I misheard them. Underdark. Yes, the black market in the Underdark.
That
To be
makes
fair,
much more sense.
Genie, this man that explained it to us is a weird accent. I don't didn't quite get it.
Under the dock.
Wherever you need to find it, I am hungry for magic.
Great, Genie. Tell me more. Do you know anything of this Underdark, then?
Only what you've told me, that it's not the Underdark. But I hear promising things. My time runs short, dear Snack. I must pray. Please, find magic items and feed them to me.
I will, Genie. I will look.
That's all I ask of you.
Okay.
Sleep
Farewell.
tight.
Okay.
And
Bye.
he goes back into the water.
Bye, friend.
Oh, yeah.
Did we hear any of this happening?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think we know about Genie yet.
Yeah, you probably heard the trash can rattle.
Just Snack being weird.
And we'll start into the next day here. So first person to be awake is Uli. And you have to meet Tandy out on the docks at 6 a.m. before the sun even comes up.
What time is it?
It is 5:55, and you are at Blackwater Row, walking towards the docks.
Oh, okay.
And you actually see Tandy. She is in line at the elixir kiosk. There's actually like a line of like 15 people there,
What?
and it's the only store that's open.
Is that like a common thing? Am I ever up this early?
No, never.
Okay.
You've never seen this before. And so all these people are lined up at the thing, and they're all buying the same potion. And you see somebody buy one from Joe, hand him a couple gold pieces, and they just they drink it like right then and there. And they actually just give him back the vial, and they go, "Thank you, Joe. I'm ready for the day."
Is this wheatgrass shots or something?
Or something.
Somebody else walks up and takes one, and they're just like, "Oh, thank you, God. I can't talk to anybody before I've had my morning elixir."
Oh my god.
And they continue on.
All right, I'll
Tandy says, "I'll just be a second."
just stand with her.
And she says, "I'll meet you on the docks, Uli."
I am on the docks. And I have met you.
How did you sleep?
You know.
Let's just not talk.
Okay.
And you wait a couple minutes, just taking a step every now and then as the line shrinks. And
So awkward.
and she gets an elixir, slams it, and she says, "Okay, much better. Let's go." And she walks with you down to the docks.
Okay.
When you get there, you see a tall, lithe elf man, very scrawny, very young as elves go. He has white hair. It's a little long, but it's like tied up in a little bun. She says, "This is your new training partner."
Training partner. That's the thing that I wanted.
Yes, you are going to learn to get yourself under control.
In what way?
Well, when things go poorly for you, Uli, you react poorly. And we're going to try to put a stop to that. So, Rin here has a bit of a sharp tongue, and he can also take whatever you're about to dish out. So I just think you two would make a great pair and I think you could really stand to learn a lot from each other. So let's just start with you having a little bit of a conversation, and we'll see how this goes. And so Rin, this elf boy, is he's got a tall staff that he's kind of leaning on, and he's got a very lazy posture, and he's just like at the very corner of the dock staring at the water. And then he like barely notices you, and he just looks up at you and goes, "Oh, hey."
Do I really have to do this?
You do. It's this, or you're exiled from Lamplight Landing.
Point taken. Hello.
Yeah, I already said hello. What? Like, Tandy, is she just gonna start punching me or what?
If
Tandy
you don't-
grins and says, "Maybe. You two play nice." And she says, "Oh, and don't leave this dock. It's the only one with the steel plating." And she gestures to the heavy steel grate beneath your feet instead of the usual wood docks.
How long do I have to do this?
She says, "An hour a day should do."
Perfect. Thank you so much for for that. Thank you.
And she actually leaves. And Rin says, "Well, I got in a whole heap of trouble, so I think I have to babysit you for a little bit every day."
Oh, you have to babysit me.
Yes.
I assumed it was the other way around.
Oh, I mean, I just figured since I was the one in control here that I'd be the one in control.
You said you got into trouble.
Yep. Mouthed off the Sheriff Tandy. She didn't like that one bit.
Why do you assume you're in control then?
He actually just smiles at you. And he says, "So, you're the one that blew up the docks, is that right?
Yeah.
And why did you do that?"
Because I am so powerful. Clearly.
So your goal was to destroy part of the town?
No, my goal was to destroy part of a person.
So you're not powerful enough to succeed in your goals?
Oh,
just
I
to-
wasn't trying to kill anybody or the doc.
Well, you certainly don't scare me. You really just kind of seem like a temperamental child. Big plans today, gonna ruin a bunch more shit, make people's lives awful.
How close are we to the water?
You're pretty close. He's still leaning on his staff, looking out over the water. He's like barely even looked up at you this whole time.
Like full body weight on the staff?
Kind of.
Okay, I'm gonna tap the staff with my foot.
He just kind of like side eyes you and like hop skips the staff just a little bit and like doesn't let you kick it. And he says, "Oh, what was that? Getting violent already?"
That's not violent.
"Oh no,
No. You have not seen me violent.
you just tried to move on me."
No, I tried to move on your staff.
Temperamental child indeed. Tandy was right about you. We barely even talked and you're already trying to get at me. What is wrong with you? You can't do this to people. That's assault, you know? Like, I could, like, if, like, you could be, if we were in Tildry, I'm just saying, you'd be in jail by now. You're out of control and you have no idea what you're doing. And you're not powerful. He goes, "Fine." And he punches you in the lip.
Did Tandy give any indication that if I were to lose my cool, this would be done?
Nope.
Okay, cool. Then I'm gonna punch him back.
You lunge at him and you throw a fist and it's going to connect with his face. Except he raises a hand and you see a warbling sheen of light between the two of you. And you recognize that he's cast a shield spell and he dramatically increases his own armor.
That is so extremely lame.
He says, "Well, like I said, I'm the one in control here and there's not a whole lot you can ever do about it. So you better just sit down because I'm about to tell my whole life story and you're going to listen for an hour a day." And he just kind of starts yapping about random stuff.
Is the shield still up?
No, it's like
It's only
momentary.
a reaction, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to pretend like I'm listening.
And we're gonna kind of actually fade out of that scene. Yeah. Holly also had to get up early to meet with Todd Pole out on his fishing boat.
Oh, yeah.
Holly walks up the docks, and she is totally refreshed, ready to start a new day. And she says, "Oh, good morning, Mr. Todd Pole. How are you today?"
He does the kind of like lip tuck and nod kind of thing. He just kind of nods at you without saying anything. Says, I think I got what we need here to do the ritual thing you're talking about.
Oh, perfect. Holly's very excited. Unfortunately, I think we already found the nightmare wizard, but we could still, see who else. I don't know if there's anything else I need to like find the source of.
It's like, oh, well, I got the seaweed right here, and I mean, usually you use a worm in the ritual, so I brought a worm, but I don't know. I realized on my walk over here, I don't think we need your help anymore. We kind of discovered or figured out what we need to. One thing, though, I do have a quick question before you head out for your fishing for the day. Do you know, I mean, and I know we have to keep it on the DL, but do you know anything about the, underdog? And she's like really close to him, and she's like looking around, like making sure no one's looking. And she has no idea how to play it cool. She is very straight-laced, so. He says, I mean, take off the badge for a sec.
Oh, I threw it in the water last night.
Good. Yeah.
She takes off the chameleon's badge and puts it in her pocket.
Everybody's got, magical needs. They got to buy some rare reagents, It's, stuff comes up. You got to get stuff that's hard to find. You go to the underdog, sure.
I see. I think I have a need to get to the underdog for one of those reasons.
Well, I'll tell you this. At the end of Blackwater Row, it's only for a little bit each day, but there's an alleyway you can walk into, okay? It's right before the last shop in Blackwater Row. In that alleyway, there's going to be a big dude, okay? He's a minotaur. His name is Dave.
Not suspicious at all.
And Dave's, he's a pretty nice guy and all, but, he's a minotaur. He'll get you. So.
What's the password?
There's no password. He kind of sweats you.
What's the symbol?
It's not that. Dave just knows. He knows who's cool.
What if you're a stranger? What if you're a stranger? Does he let strangers in?
That's his job. He judges who gets to go in.
Who's he getting his info from?
I think he just kind of senses it.
He just looks at him.
Minotaurs are good at that. They know how to, navigate. They can judge people.
Okay. Is it like a thing if I really need it, they'll let me in because he'll know?
You could bribe him.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. She pretends to walk away slowly, like nothing happened here, and turns away.
Henri at the same time is looking around all paranoid and nervous. His eyes are just kind of shifting like. But
in opposite directions because they can move.
Yeah. Henri's just nothing to see here.
And then she's just like, thank you, and she slowly walks away and kind of pieces out from Tadpole. So he's a good friend.
Yeah. Todd looks at the ritual he has set up on the dock. It's like a circle of seaweed with a worm kind of writhing around in the middle of it. And he just kind of uses his shoe and just kind of scrapes it into the water. And he just goes, sorry, guy. And so I think we'll end on this. Bert, Tibio, and Snack are together. Where are you guys? Are you in Blackwater Row, the market? Are you still eating breakfast? Are you at the tavern?
Are we staying at the Tingle Jib?
Yeah.
I don't know. We're dark.
You're staying at the Tingle Jib. Uli doesn't have to. She probably has a residence here or something.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking the three of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have stayed there.
Yeah, I think
Probably.
Bert is probably
We're
somewhat of a
eating
night
there.
owl. Snack
Yeah.
is obviously a cave dweller, and I'm a necromancer, so I would assume that I like the darkness more. So we're probably all late risers.
Yeah.
So Tibio is in the tavern in the main area eating breakfast. He has made a porridge that is a home recipe from his mother.
Bone meal.
Something.
So it's pretty much just the three of you, and again, the tavern keeper is sort of in and out. And then in walks a stranger who you guys have not met at all. It's a dark-haired man who doesn't introduce himself. He actually doesn't say anything. He just kind of walks in, and he sees the three of you, and he just sits down in a chair, and he stares down at the table.
I just kind of nod my head at him.
And he nods back at you.
Bert,
And
do you know this man, Bert?
I haven't seen him before.
he stands up to leave, and he takes a couple steps, and then he sits back down in the chair, and he kind of shakes his head and kind of looks around at the ground. It almost looks like he's trying to remember what he came in for.
Sir, are you okay?
He stands up and walks towards you. He says, I think. Yeah, I think, yeah.
Tibio's eyes are very wide.
Something wrong, pal?
I think everything's fine.
You look a little out of sorts or lost.
Yeah, I don't know. Something feels... You feel that?
I do not feel that.
And then Bert, he stabs a dagger towards you.
What?
It's just kind of a very quick escalation as he pulls out this dagger that kind of glints in the morning sunlight. It's only 9 a.m. Coming through the window, and he lunges for Bert, and he immediately drops the knife, and he goes, I that wasn't me.
I saw you do it.
He goes, no, I didn't do that.
I put a hand on Bert's shoulder and I cast Mage Armor.
So yeah, Bert, you start rippling with extra protection. He says, I didn't just try to do that. Please, I don't know what to tell you.
Is this your dagger?
Yeah, it is. He's like, please don't do this. He's like, don't arrest me. Don't do this.
No, we are deputies, but I want to at least move around him to block off his exit or whatever.
Yeah, and as you stand up, you see him turn to leave, and then he stops again, and then he turns back towards you, and then he turns to leave again, and he stops. And he goes, please, I'm sorry. And then he just kind of shakes his head, and then he starts
slowly walking out of the room.
And he goes, please just forget about this.
He is leaving now, though?
He's trying to, yeah.
Bert, we should follow him. We need to stop him. He might be cursed.
Yeah, I'm going to pocket the dagger. And...
Okay.
Snack comes into the room. He's got a plate full of bacon and ate all of the bacon.
Yeah.
What's going on here?
And you see... You just see Bert picking up this knife off the table like it's a murder weapon or something, kind of very daintily. And you also see Tibio kind of conversing with the man, and all three of them are trying to, act on each other.
I'm trying to prevent him from leaving. I'm not touching him, but I'm in front of the door no, you
all
can't.
right,
Let's go.
I'm going to try this again. I'm going to shout out to him. Stop!
Okay.
Using command.
And he succumbs to that.
Yes.
And he just completely stops, and he's staring at you. And he goes, yeah.
All right, pal. I don't know what's going on, but you didn't want to stab me, right?
No.
But you did try to stab me.
Yeah, and I don't even know why. I don't know how I got here.
Could this be a curse?
I roll up his pant legs and start checking for scales.
What you got, Snack?
I don't know. Perhaps it's below the skin. And I take out my dagger.
No. Just wait.
Perhaps we should follow him then.
So, are you in control now?
I think so. I feel okay.
Did you feel okay before?
No, it was different.
So you feel different?
Yeah.
Can you sit? Can you stay? We don't blame you. We understand you are cursed.
I mean, you guys are deputies, right? I don't want to make this any bigger of a thing than it was.
We are not going to arrest you. We just want to find the truth.
He sits with you.
Have you come into contact with anyone weird or mysterious lately?
Absolutely not. I'm just going about my routine like I do every day. And then I passed by this bar, and I saw the three of you in the window, and I don't know. I came in, and you saw what happened. I can't explain it. I don't even know you.
Sir, we will not tell anyone, but did you perhaps make a visit to the Underdark at some point?
To the what?
The Underdark? The Underdark.
It's the Underdark.
I've never... Oh, the underdog. No, I don't know what that is. What do you mean, like swimming?
Under dark. Under the.
It's all right, Tibio. I think he doesn't know.
I'm sorry.
Then I will cast Detect Magic.
Okay. You can see that there is a very powerful but very diluted charm over him.
I think this man is cursed.
It's something like an unbreakable charm or like an unbreakable spell.
Okay.
But it's such a shadow of that effect that it's only kind of like on and off and erratically controlling him like this.
I think this is enough evidence to say this boy cursed.
What do we do with him then?
We find out who cursed him.
Just then, you guys hear a window shatter, and a stone comes flying through the window and just barely misses Tibio. And you see somebody outside, like looking at both of their hands, and they go, "I'm sorry, I'm sorry."
We
And
are under
this
attack.
again?
and we'll end it there for tonight, I think.
Yay!
I'm glad all these townspeople are bad at attacking.